So now we're back with our What To series. For today, we are focusing on what to do with shea butter. Companies have been using shea butter in a lot of different of their makeups and products for things as like an emollient, as like a humectant, to moisturize, to put moisture into the skin, to soothe, to hydrate. But what really is shea butter? Shea butter is a fat, actually. It's a natural fat that comes from a tree, from the root of a certain tree that is prone to certain regions in Africa. So again, in Africa, specifically this time we're talking about Ghana in Africa. Used for hydration for centuries. Everybody there has the most gorgeous, beautiful skin. If you ever met anybody from Ghana, their skin is like silk. I mean, it really is. It's just like beautiful, glistens in the sun, it glows. They have this rich, dark, chocolate, gorgeous tone to them. And you're like, gosh, how do y'all look like that? I mean, I met a woman one time at one of these health food stores that I love going to, my little custom health food stores. And, you know, the girl's sitting back there and I'm just, you know, talking to her. This is back when I used to, in college, get shea butter by the pound. And I was talking to her as her husband, boyfriend, dad, whoever he was cutting my pound of shea butter. And I was just asking her, you know, what's your routine like, what you doing? And she was like, oh yeah, you just have to make sure you take care of yourself. She was actually brushing her teeth. They used some root over there to actually brush their teeth. And it frays, and then they suck on the root, and then it actually helps break particles of bacteria down, and then they actually scrub their teeth with it. The most beautiful teeth, the most beautiful gums I'd ever seen. She said she never used toothpaste a day in her life, and I was just like, how is that possible? And then on top of that, I'm like, your skin glows. I mean, it glistens. Like, we are inside, and you look like you're sitting on the beach getting everybody's best tan. Her melanin was popping, gorgeous, just flawless, brown, deep chocolate, deep, beautiful dark skin. And I was asking her, you know, what do you use? And she was like, oh, I don't use anything but shea butter. My entire body, it's all I use is shea butter every day. Like, would you believe that I'm 50? And I was like, oh my God, black women in this damn 50. I mean, they really do. Good black don't crack. When you have good black, you can't tell. You don't start cracking till like 80s. And then, even then, you're still looking like somebody's 45. So it's the skin, beautiful. And what they're using is shea butter, is what we like here. It's our shea butter, our natural organic shea butter that everybody's now been using around the world, like I said, in different cooperatives and different moisturizers for different things to help hydrate and is a really good emollient. Because it says raw and unrefined. So what that means is that raw shea butter, raw typically is yellow. A lot of times they'll also have white shea butter, which isn't high concentrations of fat. It's kind of like the skim on top when they churn. So it's not the same shea butter. It is technically pure, but it doesn't have that same weight. It's not that real thick, hearty, greasy, real rich shea butter that you want, you know. But typically shea butter is yellow, and typically it'll come in some kind of like brick or some kind of like chunk form, you know, and it breaks off. It's very easy to break off, and you just put it on your skin, and it's really cool. So shea butter and coconut oil actually absorb into skin at body temperature. So literally you can take the big chunk and just start rubbing it onto your skin, and it'll break down and it'll literally absorb into your skin, just because your body is the natural temperature that it takes to absorb it, about 96, 98 degrees. It hydrates your skin and nourishes, and it also makes a really good base for things like moisturizers. We'll use shea butter as a carrier oil, and they'll put their essential oils in the shea butter and work that into the system, work that into the skin, so you'll have the scent that you're looking for, and you'll also have potentially the benefits of whatever the essential oil that you're using is also, but it'll adequately instill into your skin, because again, shea butter absorbs into the skin at body temperature, so 96, 98 degrees. It's going to penetrate deeper into the skin, and it's going to carry those nutrient elements from the essential oils further into your skin and moisturize and instill. We love shea butter. Shea butter is fantastic. Where do you buy raw and undefined shea butter? So we talked about raw shea butter is what you're looking at, the little pricks, you know, the really rich, thick, unrefined shea butter is the shea butter when it's cut directly from the tree and doesn't really have anything mixed into it, but it sometimes is a little bit more churned. Unrefined is a lot of times your more white shea butters, you know, that almost skim on top after they churn it and mix it. And the raw shea butter is those thick, rich yellow that comes in chunks. that should really use to finding it more like local health food stores. So where do you find organic, raw, natural, unrefined shea butter? You can go directly to the source. They have a lot of different places all over the world that are like cooperatives that will hand chuck shea butter personally. And in Africa, actually, organizations like The Body Shop have inspired organizations throughout the regions of Africa, in Kenya and in Ghana, where things like shea butter are prominent. And they've actually inspired social economic growth of over 500,000 women. Now, they don't rely on men, and they've actually been able to thrive and have educations and be able to go to schools, and they're the breadwinner for their families, you know, and they're the ones that pull in the income. And it's because of just one plant, one ingredient they were accustomed to harvesting and using for a beauty secret for centuries that they're tried and true have known to use. So it's amazing. So you can get it from the source, cooperatives. They also carry it at places like your health food stores. So I know that Whole Foods has some shea butter, unrefined shea butter. I'm not sure if you can find necessarily the raw shea butter there. I was having best luck finding the raw shea butter at your more independent health practitioners. So like those health food stores that aren't your big, huge conglomerate. So Whole Foods is now owned by Amazon. They're all over the world. They're huge, you know, so a little bit like the step down, the localized version of that. So it carries the same ideas, organics, everything, natural, vegan life, you know, they're doing all that, but it's going to be more of your local stuff. So when you have your local shops, hopefully they'll have some unrefined shea butter. And a lot of times more black-owned places will have unrefined shea butter. So if you can go places, some beauty companies, I know Tysoon Beauty has some things, so like if you can find some beauty companies that are a little bit more commercial, that have a little more of a African-American clientele, sometimes it's easier to find there. And also the internet. You can go online and order shea butter by the pound, and it's actually cheapest. You know, you just want to make sure that you're getting it from somebody that's going to give it to you that's raw. It is going to be a lot of times not processed, that comes directly from the source. And then if you do have something that, because they make a lot of really good shea butters with essential oils that will smell fantastic, but you really should know what the essential oils are. Some people do have irritation. Some essential oils are more powerful than others. So just do your research, just do yourself that favor and know what you're buying before you buy it, before you spend all your money and go out and spend, you know, everything and, you know, you get the wrong product, or we don't want that. Hopefully now you have a little bit more insight about what shea butter is, where to get it, why it's important to use, and maybe you can branch out, and if you haven't tried some, try it. It's good from head to toe. You can literally use it in your hair, you can use it on your face, on the body, you know, on the feet, places that get dry spots, the elbows, the knees, everywhere. Try shea butter. If y'all have any questions, leave your comments in the comments below. I'll try to answer them if I can. Alrighty, happy shopping.